Let's cut through the theory. Let's not look at models and ideas, but let's actually look at the actual email from one of the top marketers and top coaches in the world. I'm talking about Taki. I'm going to look at one of his emails, what the great lessons we can learn from what they did really well in this particular email, but also the huge blunder they made, which I want to make sure you don't make as well, so that you can have great success with your email marketing, make more sales from your emails.
The Email Marketing Show.
So I can tell you now, in helping more than 9,000 paying clients, making more than $3 million online, all that sort of good stuff, I see a lot of emails. Clients come to me all the time. They're like, hey, could you take a look at my email? What works really well? And one of the things that's really interesting that we do inside of our membership, the Email Hero Academy, is people bring their emails along and ask me to critique them and talk out loud while I'm rewriting their emails. And I did it as a one-off thing, quite honestly. I thought this will be quite fun. We might see if people like it or not. And it's one of the most requested, most enjoyable things that we do. So now we started doing it like pretty much every quarter, maybe a little bit more often. So really good fun. So in case you don't know, Taki is is known as the millionaire coach, the $1 million coach, I should say. And his team, him and his team, I'm guessing probably him, sending out their emails. And I just grab one of their emails to take a look at it. Because rather than give you like the theory, it's really a lot easier for you to implement this stuff, make more sales from those emails of yours if you see it in action. So let me pull apart what's going on here. So let's make this a little bit bigger on screen for you so you can see it. There we go. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about that is really good before we get into the blunder is the subject line. The subject line that they sent here is just the number 4. Just the number 4. Really interesting thing to do, because most subject lines are like the benefit of what's inside the email. They're sort of making some kind of call out to the audience, and that means they're usually pretty long. But if you remember that your email is not being received in isolation. It's there buried amongst a whole bunch of other emails. So a really short, one word, or in this case, one symbol, not even a letter, a number, is really going to go, oh, that looks so different. So it literally stands out in the inbox. So have a think about the one-word subject line. I've talked about that before, and we use it fairly often. But also the one symbol. So it could be a number. I wouldn't try a single emoji, because that actually can be a bit spam triggery and it doesn't really work very well in our tests. So that's the first thing I think they did really, really, really well here, is a really good subject line. The other thing that this subject line does, another lesson from this subject line, is that it has what I call my compound curiosity principle built into it. It doesn't tell you for what. It has for it sounds like a golfing thing, like you before you hit the ball. For 4 minutes, 4 days. It has a lot of questions. It basically creates what I call a lot of itches on the inside of people's brains, which they want to scratch. So it has a lot going for it. Very, very powerful. The next thing that they do really well is they keep the curiosity going about what does this number 4 mean, even in the subject, even in that first line, the opening line of the email. A lot of people mess this up. Taki and his team have not messed this up. They've done a great job of this. Because what most people will do is say, 4 is the number that, whatever the thing's going to be. In this case, we're going to get onto it. It's 4 places left. There are only 4 places left. But if you do that, if you show your hand, if you reveal what you meant by the subject line in the opening line, you're basically closing the loop. You are scratching that itch that you created in their heads. You actually want to, in that first opening line, which is what they're doing here, you actually want to amplify and make the itch even itchier. If anything, you definitely don't want to scratch the itch. So they're doing that. Kennedy, so there's some personalization. Great. So I know it's for me. Even though we know that's all mail merges, he hasn't personally typed it, it still works to personalize. The number is 4. So now what's your brain asking? Your brain's asking more questions. It's asking, what number is 4? What are you talking about? So I have to keep reading. Remember, the old copywriting rule is the job of one sentence is to get them to read the next sentence. That is what's going on here, and they're doing it really, really well. That's how many pizzas I've eaten so far this week in Italy. So now something relatable. How many pizzas? Everyone's eating pizza. And then So that says, oh, I'm just like you. I eat pizza too. Even though Taki's known for being a very healthy guy, he's Australian, he's very athletic, he really likes that sort of stuff. But he's talking about eating pizza. We really relate to that. Whether we're athletic or not, we all like a bit of pizza. But then he goes on in the same sentence to say, so far this week in Italy. Now, not everybody's in a position where they can just travel willy-nilly to Italy, to Europe, from wherever you happen to be in the world. Even for me, it's a couple of hours flight, and it's a beautiful place to be. But he's now adding something that's inspirational. So he's combined two really interesting story types here. The first one is the relatable. So we're like, we feel just like him. And the other one is the inspirational. Oh, I wish I had the kind of lifestyle. I wish I had the kind of income. I wish I had the kind of flexibility where I could just fly to Italy and eat pizza. So we're adding both of those things into the same sentence, which gives credibility and relatability at the same time. Okay? It's creating status as well, the fact that he can go and do that. The next line, and it's how many kilos I'll probably put on before I leave on Monday. What this is doing is this is making it feel like a real event by giving it a timeline. It's saying, hey, I'm leaving on Monday. Oh, so you're actually there, right? It makes it very, very real. Then he goes into the call to action. He's promoting his offer called Black Belt. So, also, there are only 4 spaces left in Black Belt this year, and they'll fill up today. So now he's saying now we're creating scarcity. There's only 4 places, and the scarcity links very cleverly to the 4 pizzas, the 4 kilos, and the 4 in that subject line. Okay? So now we've got the 4 really coming through. The singular message, when I talk about there should be 1 point in an email, this rule of 1, I call it the rule of 4 ones. The 1 here is this 4. There's 4 places. There's 4 in the subject line. There's 4 pizzas. There's 4 kilos. We're really driving home and really getting people to really resonate with that there are only 4 places left available in your program by making this 4 repetition early in the email. So when you get to say there's only 4 places, there's a very clear resonance around this number 4. And that really pushes home this scarcity that there are not many places left, and there's 4. And then he goes in Black Belt, which is the name of his program, so he names it, uppercase, important stuff, this year. So this was sent towards the end of the year, just literally last year. I think it was like November. This was at the mid to end of November last year, 2025. This year, again, that creates even more scarcity because you won't be able to join again this year. So this quarter, this month, you can use the same thing. And then there's a real nice confidence here, a real nice confidence when he finishes the sentence off with, and they'll fill up today. This is about saying, I know there is demand for this. I know how powerful my outcome is, and I know that people want it. That certainty is great. Then we've got, you'll get 4 weeks free if you apply now before the spots are gone. Click here for the details. Notice the call to action here is not asking for too much. A lot of people get this wrong. They'll put the call to action in there and be like, click here to grab your space now. Whoa, that's a big jump from reading my email while I'm in the line waiting for my coffee to clicking and now enrolling in a program, which is a premium price program. No, the job of the email is to get the person from where they are to the next step. Think of it as a relay race. You're passing the baton from the email inbox over to the sales page or the Google Doc or however it is, the sales video, the webinar you want them to register for. That's all we're doing. So click here for the details. That is a much lower level commitment the person's committing to when they click there to get the details. Oh, I'll click and have a look at the details. Much easier for our subconscious brains to actually commit to. And then he signs it off with his name. So where's the opportunity? Where's the blunder? There's a lot of great stuff in here. But there's one thing I would change if I was going to make a change to this. And that is, in case you haven't guessed, it's this bit. You'll get 4 weeks free if you apply now before the spots are gone. The problem here, and the thing that was really missed, is this adds to what I call offer complexity. The rest of the email is so singular. The rest of this email is so focused on this 4, 4, 4. And yes, you get 4 weeks free, but I'm going to enroll now and get 4 weeks free. It creates a lot of friction, creates a lot of questions in someone's minds. It creates paralyzing questions. So the question that your brain comes across now is, oh, okay, so I'm gonna have a look for the details. There's only 4 spaces left, but if I join now, I get 4 weeks free. Do I pay now? How much do I pay now? Does that mean it's a 12-month program? Is it a 6-month program? There's a lot of information I don't know. And I don't mean that in a curious way, 'cause it's not being positioned as curious, but it really is being positioned as, I don't know what that means. So and I say this all the time, this happens a lot in people's emails. Take a look at your emails and make sure you're not adding something in like that, which adds to the complexity. Right? By the way, are you enjoying these videos? I'm starting to make this little series where I look at marketers' emails from lots of different niches, not just marketing, across lots of different niches. If you'd like me to keep doing these, make sure you hit subscribe and let me know in the comments below. It's amazing to me that less than 25% of the people who watch my content actually don't subscribe. Only 25% of you actually subscribe. 75% and more of you don't even subscribe. So make sure you hit subscribe, hit the bell. And if you like this kind of content, make sure you leave a comment below and I will make more and more of these videos. Now, if you want to see the exact structure that works every single time in your videos, in your emails, and you want to copy this proven thing, then go watch this where I'll show you how to write a perfect email every single time, and I'll see you over there.